Naija, which way now?
Welcome to my Better Niger podcast, a podcast from Rescue Nigeria that discusses civil, social, economic, and political issues relevant to Nigerians. In Nigeria today, a quiet war is being fought in storefronts, workshops, and market stores across the nation. It is not making headlines, but it is destroying livelihoods and crushing dreams daily. This is the battle of Nigerian small business owners, entrepreneurs who dare to build despite a system seemingly stacked against them. Walk through any Nigerian city, you will see them. The fashion designer whose sewing machines sit idly for hours due to power outage. The restaurant owner whose food spoils because diesel prices have tripled. The tech startup founder who spends more time navigating bureaucracy than building products. These are Nigerian errors, the backbone of an economy that should be thriving but is barely surviving. The challenges are everywhere. Epileptic power supply that forces businesses to budget for diesel more than raw materials, multiple taxation from federal, state, and local governments that drain profits before they are even made, access to capital that's nearly impossible without collateral and connections. Infrastructure so poor that moving goods from Lagos to Kano costs more than shipping to London. Inconsistent policies that change with every administration, making long term planning impossible. We don't even know if the new tax laws will work for small businesses or against them. Are Nigerian entrepreneurs doomed to struggle while their counterparts in other African nations thrive? What would it take to transform Nigeria from a graveyard of businesses into a entrepreneurial ecosystem where small businesses cannot just survive but flourish? Today, we explore these critical questions with two Nigerians who understand this crisis from different angles. Their insights will illuminate why Nigerian businesses struggle and what must change to unleash the nation's true potential. In the studio with us are Kikelomo Batola, popularly known rather by a brand name Wura Gold, head of sales and marketing at Industrial and Medical Gases Nigeria PLC, business strategist and a multi-venture entrepreneur, celebrated for innovation, leadership, and resilience. With over 17 years of experience across consumer goods, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, and industrial and medical gases, she exemplifies what it means to thrive across industries while building systems that sustain people and profits. Kikelomo is the convener of Skin Intervention Nigeria, a social impact enterprise dedicated to skin healthcare, hygiene, and empowerment in underserved communities. In 2025, she led the groundbreaking One Nation, One Skin Anthem project, a unifying creative campaign that raised Nigerian flag on Independence Day and continues to stream widely on Audiomack, inspiring national pride and unity. You're welcome to my Better Niger.
Thank you.
Also with us is Mr. Shegun Adetu, a seasoned finance professional and accomplished leader in banking with over 25 years of experience across corporate, retail, and investment banking. Starting from AfriBank Nigeria Limited, he has held leadership roles at Equity Bank, NBM Bank, Nastaling Bank, and was the pioneer managing director of Avalon Microfinance Bank. Beyond his banking career, Mr. Adetu has contributed academically as a visiting lecturer at Lagos State University and Ekiti State University, sharing his wealth of knowledge in economics and finance with future professionals. He is a certified microfinance practitioner, a fellow of the Institute of Economics of Nigeria, and a member of the Chartered Institute of Auctioneers of Nigeria. Welcome to my Better Niger, Mr. Adetu.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. And let's get started. I would start with some statistics here. Recent data reveals the harsh reality facing Nigerian small businesses. 80% of Nigerian startups fail within their first 5 years, according to SMEDAN. SMEs contribute nearly 50% of Nigeria's GDP and employ over 60 million people. Only 5% of Nigerian SMEs have access to formal credit from financial institutions. Nigerian businesses spend an average of 500,000 naira monthly on alternative power, that is, generators and diesel. The World Bank ranks Nigeria 131 out of 190 countries for ease of doing business. That's terrible. Multiple taxation sees some businesses paying up to 50 different taxes to various government agencies. 60% of small business owners cite infrastructure failures as their primary challenge. The average Nigerian business spends 30 to 40% of revenue on logistics due to poor road networks. These are the statistics, and they do not look good. And we can understand why Nigeria is so poorly rated by the World Bank in terms of the ease of doing business. So let's begin to tackle the questions. And the first question, we go to you, Kikelamo Patola. What, in your view, are the key challenges of running a small business in Nigeria?
Thank you for this opportunity, and it's nice meeting both professionals on this call. I must commend Better Nigeria for coming up with this innovation because we have a lot of challenges around the small business sector. We have the challenges of, you said it earlier, lights, and even now that we have the light being stabled, how many people can thrive on the band aid policy, on the fuel hike? Even if there's an outrage, how many people can actually survive, you know, to afford that? And that business, how many people are patronizing that business to bring such profits to be able to sustain those kind of things? That's those kind of factors that affect small businesses. So one of them is just that we have government policies bringing in so many documents to be paid for, local governments, so many things that people are not even sensitized of. We keep seeing so many things coming up on daily basis. And back at those days that most businesses have traffic, people that can afford. Now focus of most people have shifted in the business space. Most people are just after food on daily basis. Most people are after their children should go to school so that they can afford their school fees. A lot of children too are dropping out of schools, while some people too are changing schools from the higher one to the lower one to actually balance life. So most times, even for business owners, it's tougher. So there are selective businesses at the moment that are running, and how well are they running? Because even for schools, it's difficult for you to even just increase school fees. If you say I know a lot of business owners running schools that have closed down, and I know people that are currently running the school business that are struggling. So, and that is just the aspect of the education part. What of those that run daily services? For example, in my own field, the beauty space, how many people can afford to do a massage? How many people can afford to do a spa service? Initially we had the challenge of people complaining to afford to pay. So now that we have the hike of everything in the economy, it's getting more difficult and tough for people to be able to pay for these services. And that is just one of them. Like you said, we have people running food businesses. How can they sustain preserving such food businesses to ensure that their generator keep running, or they keep running on band A just to sustain, and eventually they have just two people working in to purchase during the day? So I think I'll rest my case here, just to highlight those few things. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Yeah, and you were already talking about some of the institutional crises that we face as well. We'll get to that. But before we do, I'll move over to Mr. Adetu. Uh, Share with us your own thoughts around those challenges.
Yeah. Who is a small scale business owner? We're talking of people who are at the downstream of the economy, people who decide on their own to say, okay, let me put the factors of production together and come out with a product of value that can be transmitted to the final consumers. So in doing that, Nigeria is a typical country. The so-called small-scale business owners, what knowledge do they have? What determine the kind of business they go to, what forms their opinion on how to be stable on that business. You just said it. You said 50% of most of our small business, according to Smedan, uh, failed within 1 year. And I know with the other research did, about 95 failed within 5 years. So it has to do with the knowledge of the so-called small scale entrepreneurs. Some of them, they depend on the capital, the finances they can get from friends and family to start a business, thinking that by that they build it to a particular stage, they may be able to contact bank and get support. But no matter how you try, the environment we have has been so volatile. The banks, thank God I'm a banker, I'm a credit person. I can tell you vividly, if you come to the bank as a small scale entrepreneur, the first thing they will ask you is that you've got to run your business for 6 months minimum. And when you come again, that your money is there for us to look at, but we'll still give you other stringent conditions that will make it how what is your sales record. Most of these small business owners, they don't keep records, so they will be telling you they did this, they did that. They cannot put together what we call balance sheet to separate the asset from their liability, to say, okay, these are the kind of things I do. So we're talking about what we call economic viability of that business. How can the owner separate himself from that business? It's very difficult for them. So for them to really attract support from banks or other institutions is very, very difficult. So we need to do a lot of enlightenment in terms of, okay, who these small scale businessmen, how do they survive? What are the kind of capacity they are building on their own to say, okay, I want to stay on this business. What do I need to do? They have come green as people who know little or nothing about the business. Some of them perhaps they left, they retired. They are retired people. Some of them, out of family contribution, they want to survive because they didn't get any other thing to do. Maybe because of lack of employment, they say, okay, let me try this. You find equally, find a lot of people with money, who have made money from whatever area they have been before, start trying to set up business. The human factor gives them a lot of challenges. When you put up a business, you employ people, they are after stealing your whatever you have put together. They believe that the money you have put on that particular business is a stolen money. So they want to wreck you. They want to make their money, and they will be telling you you have made your own money from somewhere. So they want to make it from you. So that is another problem for us. Number three is that Nigeria is a highly populated country. How can we harness the demography of the so-called small scale owners to be able to say, okay, the government should do this or do that, to be able to say, okay, to prevent further uh, closure of small business, or to really help them? How can government get here? We don't the statistics level of getting people into the net of determining who are the so-called entrepreneurs is very, very high. The cost of doing that is very high. So for now, we'll continue to witness this until some institutional things are put into order. Thank you.
All right. Actually, you actually are taking us right within the hedges of the next area we want to examine: infrastructure and institutional crisis. Now, you've described the infrastructural crisis. You touched a little bit on institutional problems that we have. You were talking about how do we even get data? How do you make policies when you don't even have very good data about what those businesses are? But as we talk about that, one of the things that have been recurring in the conversations that I've had among Nigerian citizens is this citizen problem. You hire people and they wreck your business. You know, I don't really know how we're going to solve that. I have a lot of friends and family who tell me that your biggest challenge with running a small business in Nigeria is in finding the right kind of employees. Your employees would squeeze you dry. A lot of people have been out of business just because their employees kept stealing from them. And you kind of alluded to that. I don't want to make light of this problem because even if the government were to solve every problem in Nigeria, we have these citizen side issues, and this is one of them. Um, Kikelomo Watola, can you please tell us what can we do in this area, or are we ever going to be able to solve the problem of Nigerians employees not being reliable and stealing from people?
Okay, thank you so much. This is an ongoing challenge, and I think one of the key things how we can solve is recognizing talent. A lot of times we see employees not recognizing the talent that are ready to do the job, and they are being distracted by those that are sabotaging the business. So most times this is bringing up a conflict in streamlining who are those talents, key talents, because they cannot afford to pay those talents. So their eyes are always on those people that they can afford, whereby those people that can be afforded to do the job are all out there to do eye service. At the end of the day, coming up with a plan in their thoughts on how they will steal. So you will find them earning lower than expected, and they will be comfortable. But by the time you dig deep in that comfort zone that they have, you see that a lot is going on. Whereby those people that are expertise, that are talent, and are speaking up and trying to fix it correctly and doing the right thing are being looked at those people that always, bring up the complaint. People that still will be comfortable, they can be comfortable with no 1 naira or 2 naira. So until we ourselves as employers,
Yeah.
until employers are able to recognize talents, able to retain them, able to strike some things. I'm aware that some people are even changing the game now with the upcoming company generation. They ensure that talent key into maybe the equity of the company. They ensure that talent are being paid a proportion of dollars and naira. They ensure that talent are benefit from some of those things so that they can be contented while they are working with them. But for the small SMEs company coming up, we have it worst on that tone. And all you have to do at the end of the day is to be the, like he was saying, no documents, because you are the receptionist, you are the clerk, you are the banker, all of because you can't afford talent to work for you. So you have to put in a lot of effort. So even if those at the large scale are still struggling to retain talent, how much more the SMEs that are still upcoming and trying to find their foot? And now minimum wage in Nigeria is 70,000. I learnt the minimum wage very soon is going to 150 naira. How many SMEs can afford to pay?
150,000 naira.
Yes. How many SMEs can afford to pay a minimum wage of 150,000 naira? So it's a lot, it's a whole lot of work we need to do. I don't know how we will scale to get there, but it's a whole lot of work to get there. Maybe probably when the financial status of everybody is balanced, then we can be in that space. But for now, if you employ anybody earning below 70,000 naira or even 100,000 naira, don't let me deceive you, they will steal. Because
All right.
ordinary transportation to go to work, you've already consumed 30,000, let's say 1K per day, which is not realistic, except you are living close to that area. Average you will take out now when you are going out shouldn't be less than 3,000 naira without food.
Hmm.
So I think I rest my case and we will continue
Yeah,
to
so
figure out
so so this
how
problem of
to.
employees sabotaging the business
Yes,
is in a way also an institutional problem. It's not
yes,
just a people problem, it's an
yes,
institutional problem because people are not being paid the wages that can make them live. Yeah, let's go back. Institutional problem. Another one. Olusegun Adetu. You talked about getting loans from the bank. Actually, the lifeline of every small business is credit. You must be able to get credit. Now, the issue that a lot of people have been raising is this interest rate in Nigeria. And I know people who go to cooperatives, who go to small microfinance banks. Sometimes they tell me of rates that are crazy. out of this world. 30%. How can you make enough profit to even repay the loan? What is going on with the Nigerian credit system? And someone else said that if they ask you to produce a collateral, if your collateral is in Ikeja, you easily get one. You will easily get a loan. But if your collateral is a building at Songota, it's more difficult for you to get a loan. Tell us what's going on there with a kind of loan that can make businesses thrive, how to get it, why they can't get it, what's going on there.
Yes, sincerely speaking, Nigeria is an unusual ecosystem. Nigeria as a country, I tell you, despite the interest rate, Nigeria is a place where you can invest 100,000 in a month and get 150. There's nowhere in the world where you can get that. As beautiful as that sounds, we still have challenges of finance. Uh, Let me give you a scenario. If you sell pure water, a bag of pure water will probably sell for maybe less than 1,000. But from that 20 sachets, you can get 1,005. So that is an indication that if you are borrowing at 36% per month, if you can sell that, if you can turn that money around within a month 4 times, I tell you, you have made double the money. So paying that interest is not a challenge. Are you getting me? But
Yeah.
the challenge there is insincerity on part of our our investors. That's our entrepreneur, the borrowers. I tell you, insincerity on the part of the borrowers. You find out that when this money is given to them, yes, number one is the inadequate funding. When you come to the bank and you need, let's say, 1 million to support your business, and they look around other things that surround borrowing you money, and they find out that what you can only take is let's say 500. And a typical entrepreneur elsewhere will look at other areas where he can shop up whatever he can get. But in Nigeria, you want to take that 500. That 500, don't forget, cannot meet his obligation.
Naija, which way now?